Good afternoon, San Antonio. I'm meteorologist Khalil Ray, and the Storm Prediction Center has now issued a new outlook in terms of severe weather. A level 2 is now covering all of our area from New Braunfels down to Karnes City, back towards the hill country. We could be looking at a risk for damaging winds and some large hail as we see a line really start to push our area later on this evening into the overnight hours. Now, of course, in terms of the national satellite, the main feature that you're really going to see is a cold front. And where is it exactly? It's stretching anywhere from Chicago. You can see where that line of thunderstorms is along that front as well. Even got a warning near that Dallas-Fort Worth area, severe thunderstorm warning. Well, that's eventually going to make its way into our area. And along with the dry line, that's going to provide a lot of lift. So we could see some pretty nasty storms as we go into the evening hours. But currently right now, pretty quiet outside. You see nothing showing up on radar. Of course, this is going to change a lot as we go into those evening hours. And this is what I'm talking about. So first, it's going to start a little bit further north and west of us. Of course, you're always going to have some of those storms starting to fire off the mountains of Mexico. But with that line of that cold front coming through and that dry line, they're going to see some pretty heavy rainfall. Now, is it going to be this heavy? Not exactly, but we're still going to be looking at some pretty heavy rain going through San Antonio, New Braunfels as we head into the midnight and overnight hours. Of course, here's that main system that we're really seeing that's going to be causing all of that rainfall and those thunderstorms. So we have a dry line. It's not quite showing up here, but along with that, we have the front. Those are pretty much going to combine, and that's going to provide, again, a lot of that lift that we need for some of those storms that are going to fire off later on this evening. And then this is not going to be the only round. We're looking at multiple rounds of rain over the next 7 days. So we could be seeing a pretty good amount, possibly over 4 to 5 inches in some areas. So street flooding is in the possibility for all of this rain. In terms of right now, though, enjoy the sunshine while you can, because we're not going to see much of it throughout the rest of the week. 87 degrees currently, 13-mile-an-hour wind is helping keeping us a little bit cooler, especially with that humidity in the air. Stick of it at this point, but it's not going anywhere, unfortunately, even with that cold front. Now, temperatures are going to be in the low 90s, 4 o'clock once we reach that max heating. That's also going to provide some of that energy that you need for those thunderstorms to develop later on this evening. But it's going to be not just today, but tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week. Now, here's how much rain we could see through Friday. This isn't even talking about Saturday. We could still be looking at rain chances, but especially areas to the west and a little bit further east, we could be looking at anywhere 2 to 4 inches of rain. Isolated spots could be looking at 5 or even half a foot of rain. So again, street flooding is not out of the possibility. Now, I mentioned those rain chances, again, they're not going away anytime soon. We'll be peaking at 90% by Thursday and over 50% throughout the rest of the forecast period. Again, those temperatures are going to be staying in the mid to low 80s due to that cloud cover not really letting any of that sunshine through. So overall, expect a pretty rainy pattern and keep those umbrellas and rain jackets with you in the car at all times. Of course, for more weather updates on this rain and when it will finally end, stay with us here at UIW Weather.